We'll have ourselves a cold night, especially East River. Low temperatures in the single digits to near zero at times. Some light snow showers developing out to the west overnight into your day on Wednesday. Not much in the way of accumulation, an inch or less in many locations, but still is going to be on top of what we already have. 20s to the east, 30s out west, but everybody gets in on a lot of cold air by the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up, but until then, First at 4 starts right now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group. KELOLAND News, First at 4.
Lawmakers return to appear for the 2024 legislative session. We have team coverage from the state capitol coming up.
Plus, former President Donald Trump is in court today. His appeal for immunity coming up.
And a look at the Minnesota housing market, the challenges both buyers and sellers are facing just ahead. Well, good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Kelly Volk. Sioux Falls police say there's nothing suspicious about the death of a man found in the parking lot of the Bishop Dudley Hospitality House Monday morning.
The police spokesman, Sam Clemens, says that the officers reviewed surveillance camera footage. It leads them to believe that the man laid down in the snow and then fell asleep. Clemens says that it's not uncommon for police officers to come into contact with passed out people and then render assistance when they can.
Essentially what we're looking for is that person able to care for themselves? And if they're not able to care for themselves because of either intoxication or substance abuse, then we'll take them to a place where we know that they're going to be safe.
Clemens says most transients are familiar with places that will take them in for the night.
Rapid City police are asking for help locating two people possibly connected to a shooting. Police were called to a home in central Rapid City for a report of a shooting late last night. Officers found a man with a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital with serious, non-life-threatening injuries. Police are currently trying to locate 30-year-old Brandy Highwolf of Pine Ridge and 30-year-old Brittany Rodriguez of Rapid City for questioning. Police say both women may be armed and should not be approached.
A second suspect at a Sioux Falls carjacking has been arrested nearly 2 months after the crime. 24-year-old Ronald Goodsell III was booked into the Minnehaha County Jail earlier this week. Police say surveillance video and social media connected Goodsell and 22-year-old Elijah Bars to a vehicle theft on November 18th. The two are accused of forcing a man out of a running vehicle while he parked it in the driveway. Court documents say that one of the men showed a gun, told the victim to get out of the car, and then threatened to shoot if he turned around. The vehicle was eventually found abandoned after leading police on a high-speed chase. Bars was arrested a few days later. Well, both men are currently in the jail facing a long list of charges, including aggravated assault, robbery, grand theft, and eluding.
Let's get a check of the weather now. We've got a little bit of snow out there.
Little digging out to do. I'm all dug out, so I feel good about that.
Yeah? What about you, Adam?
Doing all right overall. It's actually nice to get outside for a little bit and, see that it is indeed winter. Got a little under 11 inches of snow at the airport in Sioux Falls. We had some higher amounts just a little bit south of the city. We're compiling a compilation of the finalized numbers, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. But the snow has been a very welcome sight in one particular place, and that has been Great Bear, as they are continuing to get things ready for a full opening sooner rather than later. But right now, partially open. The lift is running and the line is long, 15 with a northwest wind at 9 miles per hour. It's still a nice day to get outside, albeit it is cold. A couple of snow showers out west in Lawrence and Butte counties, but right now that is just about it. There hasn't been much of anything else going on in terms of active weather today, and quite frankly, that is all right. Goodness knows we've had more than enough to deal with as of late. We're at 14 degrees right now in Pierre, 21 Phillip, 32 Rapid City, 37 in Spearfish, 30 though for Valentine, 20 Winter, 17 in Aberdeen, basically teens along and east of the James River Valley, and it's going to be a cold night on the way tonight, with or without the wind. It is a little breezy out there tonight, or at least this afternoon / this evening, depending on how you want to look at it. But regardless, it does put the wind chill near, if not below, 0 if you are farther east. For example, we have that wind chill making it feel like it's 3 degrees in Sioux Falls, -1 in Worthington, 1 degree above 0 in Marshall, 2 for Yankton, 5 Pierre, 8 in Aberdeen as well. And we are going to have some pretty nasty wind chills coming up later on. We'll take one more view outside. This is up in Mobridge, 19 degrees up to the north. South wind is 7 miles per hour. You notice that cloud cover building in. We do have a clipper system that's going to be moving in overnight into Wednesday, giving us another light opportunity for snow, inch or less in many areas. Then we have another chance for snow almost right after that. And then we watch the thermometer very, very closely. We'll talk about all of that coming up as we head through the hour.
Thanks, Adam. Well, this afternoon, Governor Kristi Noem kicked off the 2024 legislative session with her State of the State address. She used the 40-minute speech to lay out this year's version of the top 10 things that surprised her as governor. She took a similar theme in her 2023 inauguration speech. KELOLAND's Bob Mercer has a breakdown of the address. That's on the Capitol News Bureau page right now. KELOLAND's Dan Santella is also in Pierre for the start of the session. We'll hear from both Dan and Bob coming up in the next half hour. Rapid City Regional Airport released its 2023 economic impact study showing how much it's contributed to Rapid City and the Black Hills economy. The airport has seen an increase in travelers over the past few years. We'll have a closer look at this year's report coming up at 6.
With interest rates expected to drop and new construction expected to rise, 2024 may open up some options for home buyers. Alan Henry in the Twin Cities talks with industry experts about how the market fared last year and why there is hope for the coming year.
There was a collective pause, a big breath. It had been a really frenzied market for a few years.
That's how industry insiders like Mike Smith described last year for the real estate world.
A lot of pressure on the market, exacerbated by the really low interest rates we had in 2020, 2021. When the interest rates went up, the market kind of slowed down greatly.
But over the last few weeks, buyers and sellers who hit the brakes are now hitting the gas.
Based on how we finished 2023, the demand for homeownership and new housing has never left.
James Vogley with Housing First Minnesota says it was enough for 2023 to end strongly despite those challenges.
In the Twin Cities region, we're 60 to 90,000 housing units undersupplied. So the need and the demand for housing is very strong, but the interest rates provided a challenge and a hurdle.
Some relief from those rates are in sight. This week, the average mortgage rate was about 6.6%, down from 7.8% in October, but still nowhere near the 2.6% rates seen just 3 years ago.
Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, my phone started going crazy. People are making plans for this year, 2024. We're already seeing sales going up. Number of mortgage applications is going up. The folks that had kind of come to a pause in 2023 are starting up now in 2024.
New home build permits are also firing up again as the year starts, but the lack of inventory will likely continue to put pressure on buyers and sellers looking to make a move this year.
The undersupply is a much larger structural issue. It's something the legislature is looking at. And the bottom line is we need to build more homes of all types in Minnesota to get our housing market back to a balanced state. And that's going to take several years.
Alan Henry, WCCO News.
According to the Housing First Minnesota, building permits for multifamily homes actually dropped more than 50% last month, potentially showing a shift in priorities for developers this year.